Jai Bhim, Jai Mulnivasi to all the viewers of MNT News Network. I welcome you all once again on our Sunday prime time session for English. So every Sunday we are coming up with some important topic which is very significant for the masses of India. So one of another subject we have brought in front of you, and we request you to have to listen to this session again and spread it into your circle. So the subject today we will be discussing is how can every home get the freedom guaranteed by the constitution. So very significant point. I mean that is what been discussed from last 15 years or so in very vigorous way on in India. So today we have to discuss this subject is Mul Nivasi D Borkar sir, our very own, who always comes to discuss on various subjects on MNT News Network. He is the National General Secretary of PPID. I welcome you, D Borkar sir, to our today's session.
Thank you, Jai Bhim, Jai Mul.
Jai Bhim, Jai Mul Nivasi, sir. Sir, if we know that we from last few years now there has been a lot of discussion ongoing about saving the constitution and talking about the constitution. But since 70 years, we have been seeing that constitution has not been implemented, and our rights, the people's right, which has been enshrined in the constitution, has not been implemented, and it has not been given to the people, and that's why there has been unrest always in the country discussing about their rights. So I will come to you with this subject that how come the guaranteed rights of the people of India can be will be secured and will be given to every citizen of this country and can be as envisioned by our forefathers, that the rights of the people which has been enshrined in the constitution should be given to the people. They should exercise this freedom from their home and wherever they are. So sir, how you see, I mean, whether this how you see this present dilemma, whether this freedom is being given to the people of this country, and what is the present scenario?
Thank you uh, for inviting me speak on the very important subject, especially freedom of speech and expression enshrined in the Constitution of India. Let me tell you, to start with, this Constitution is basically written and drafted for the 90% population of the country. Those who were not having rights at all in the previous constitution, that is Manusmriti, they were only allowed or given certain duties to be performed. Therefore, what I wanted to say, this constitution, especially Baba Sahab has drafted for the 90% population of India. And those 10% who were not only having the rights earlier, but they were having the special rights under Manusmriti. Now, those who are enjoying the special rights under the Constitution, the erstwhile Constitution, rather, Manusmriti, they don't need a Constitution, especially a Constitution in which the provisions of equality are introduced as against the special rights enjoyed by those 10% population. So they were not happy with these constitution. But then the point is, why the Indians have adapted this constitution, which is basically are only drafted for the 90% population of the country. So why those 10% people have agreed to this constitution, especially when they were having the special power under the previous constitution? That is the crux one should try to understand. See, the independence movement was started by Congress,
Right.
and Congress party was dominated by the Brahmins only.
Yes.
Now, again, the point is, then why they wanted this constitution? Why? Because we were governed under the British law. The various laws were framed in the British Parliament for the governance of India, and the Indians had no say while framing those laws. And therefore, Indians, I mean these Brahmins, these so-called high caste, they wanted their monopoly as they were having under the Manu's law, but certain of their rights, they have been snatched away by the Britishers by framing different laws. And that is why they were not happy with the British Empire, because some of their special rights were taken away by the Britishers. And therefore, they wanted that the Britishers must go from India. Then only they will be able to enjoy all those rights which they were enjoying under the Manu's law. On precisely for this reason, they have started the independence movement. It was mostly dominated by the so-called high caste and led by the Brahmins.
Brahmins.
Now, what has happened? Why have they accepted this constitution, which is basically for the 90% population who are not having the rights? That is the issue. They were certain that once the Britishers go out, and their movement was led by Brahmins and so-called high caste. So after the Britishers went away, they will be able to rule India as per their whims, as per their say, and not whatever is mentioned in the Constitution. Say, for example, the Constitution, if we read the preamble of the Constitution, what it says? It says, we the people of India, having solemnly resolved as to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic, and political, equality of equality of status and opportunity, and so on and so forth. Now, they have agreed to it because they know the Britishers had made a condition while framing the constitution. They have said all the communities of India should agree to a constitution which was being drafted. Then only they will transfer the power.
Transfer the power.
This was a precondition imposed by the Britishers, and therefore they have agreed for this constitution. But ultimately, as you know, they were not prepared to give the rights to the people of this country right from the inception, right from the framing of the constitution itself. They were clear on this. And that is the reason, even after the 75 years of promulgation of the constitution, it is not implemented with its letter and spirit. This is the background I just wanted to say. Now, coming to the freedom, let me speak, read that article also, which is very important article.
Yes. Yes.
Freedom. protection of certain rights regarding freedom of speech, etc. All citizens shall have the rights. Means 90% of course for whom this constitution is written, and those 10% also, they have also been given rights in this constitution. They're not happy because their special rights have been removed, but they have been given rights. And what are the rights? All citizens shall have the rights 1A, 19(1)(a) to freedom of speech and expression. Now our topic is like that.
Yes, freedom.
How that freedom provided in the constitution will reach to each and every home, and they will enjoy the fruits of the constitution. They will enjoy the freedom of speech and expression, which they have not been prior to this constitution. And the agony is, even after this constitution was promulgated, they are still not enjoying the freedom of speech and expression. They cannot speak against the government, as you see. No, nowadays, whoever speaks against the policies of the government, they are immediately arrested, whether
Yes.
it is the people from the press or
Social media.
individual, social media, or any individual who is pro-constitution, who wanted this constitution should be implemented with its letter and spirit. Whoever speaks for the constitution, and if it goes against the interest of the present government, or for that matter, it is led by the Brahminical forces, they immediately arrest those people. They are harassed. In such a situation, the subject which is kept for the discussion is how the fruits of the constitution, how the fruits of the freedom of speech and liberty will reach to the people. That is the moot question.
Yes.
It can only provide it to the people of the nation, provided the people at the helm of the affairs of the nation are honest and sincere to the implementation of the constitution. Now, for the last 75 years, this has not been implemented. Out of these 75 years, almost for 65 years, the Congress has ruled this country.
Yes. Sir, I will come to that, because that is what the crux of our today's, towards how we can implement that and how it was not been. So basically, when we started, so this topic telling us that today's scenario is people have not got the freedom guaranteed by the constitution, as you have rightly put out from the constitution article, that this is what the people of India should get it, and they should get the fruits of the constitution. So basically this has not been implemented, and so I will come back to you with this moving forward, that since this has not, the fruits of the constitution are not gettable by the people of this country. So what is the main reason that, as you said, the rulings of this of the country has not implemented the constitution, and what are more reason that this constitution has not been implemented, and how we can move ahead by for implementing the constitution? Yes, sir, please.
That is what precisely I was saying. From the right from the inception, the people who were at the helm of the affairs, they were all those 10% people who never wanted such a constitution to be adapted. But it has been adapted under the compulsion by the Britishers, as I said earlier. Because the Britishers have made a precondition that every section of the society, every community should be provided their rights in the constitution, and therefore it was drafted accordingly. But from the inception, they do not want those 10% people. Such a constitution should be implemented. And that is the reason, out of 75 years, 65 years, the Congress has ruled this country.
Yes.
And when I say Congress has ruled this country, means the dominance of Brahmins dominated party who were enjoying all powers under the Manoj law, and certain of their rights have been taken away by this constitution and provided equal rights at par with those 90% who were not having any rights. And that is the mindset of those people who were in the power, and that is why they have not implemented it. Point now for us, and neither Congress has implemented for the 65 years, you can say, and when these BJP has come to the power, which is mostly again a Hindu dominated party, and they in the beginning also RSS, and this BJP is an offshoot of RSS, and while framing the constitution itself, at the time of framing the constitution, RSS has opposed this constitution. Because they wanted India should be a Hindu Raj, and therefore nothing of that sort is mentioned in the constitution. But the constitution is a democratic constitution, and the people of the country will decide whom should be the rulers, and it is the people who will decide. And as you know, the 90% people may decide mostly in their favor, which has not even happened. It should have happened by now, that it is the 90% people who should have captured the power democratically, and provided the fruits of the constitution, the freedom of speech and expression, to be specific, to the people. But they have not come to the power out of their ignorance. Out of their ignorance, they do not know the value of the right to votes, which Baba Sahib very laboriously got it. There is a very long history on that. I will not repeat. I will not come to that now because it will take much of our time. So basically, these people do not want. Now our subject is, how can it go to the people? How will the people will enjoy their constitutional right of freedom of speech and expression? My honest and sincere answer in one line is, unless the 90% population comes to the power and rule this country and execute this constitution with its letter and spirit, the freedom of speech and expression, which is provided in the constitution, will not reach to them. This is a one-line answer. Now, if this one-line answer has to be, expanded, then the people must be made aware what is there in the constitution to make this is a welfare state. Every individual should enjoy the liberty. Every individual should enjoy the equality. Every individual should get the justice. What are the provisions made in the constitution? And if they are not implemented, what is the remedy provided by Baba Sahib Ambedkar in the constitution for those who have been denied these rights? So first thing is the fundamental rights. Now these fundamental rights, they run from Article 12 to Article 35. Fundamental rights means, you see, even if the state, one individual, if he encroaches the fundamental right of another individual, that individual can go under Article 226 to the High Court that XYZ has violated his fundamental rights, and therefore he can file a petition under Article 226 before the High Court and under Article 32 before the Supreme Court. Not only this, but even the state, I mean the government, if the government also violates the rights of a citizen, then the power has been given to the citizen in the constitution that they can petition the government also before the High Court and the Supreme Court. So these are the rights provided, but the people do not know. Few of us know, who have come out of especially from the Baba Sahib's movement, I tell you.
Yes.
Majority, those who are not the followers of Baba Sahib, they do not know. I was just watching a social media, and one specific question, one anchor, a journalist, was inquiring with the youngsters, leave aside the old illiterate people, youngsters from the age of, say, 15 to 25 to 30, and even up to 35, and some ladies. And what was the simple question was asked? What was the full name of Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar? This was the simple question.
Mm-hmm.
And they were so shy, and some of them said, we do not know. Rather, majority of them have said, we do not know what is the full name of Baba Sahib Ambedkar. What does this shows? The person who has written this constitution for their welfare, for their rights of equality, fraternity, justice, they do not know even the name. Only one boy. He said it is Bhimrao Ramji Ambedkar.
Mm.
And I am sure
That must have been from the.
that boy must be a follower of Baba Sahib Ambedkar.
Yeah.
And maybe from the Maharashtra. He may be from the other state also, because the awareness has gone there in the other state. So he could only say, majority were not knowing his name. So forget what has he written in the constitution for them. And therefore, the awareness building about the constitution is very important, which is not. The BAMSEF has taken up this cause. Right from 1977-78, we started this. But more specifically, a BS4 program has been organized from 2018.
Yes, 2018.
And the awareness campaign has been continuously made amongst the masses. As a result, the BAMSEF has dictated an agenda of the constitution. Otherwise, nobody was speaking about the constitution.
Yes.
They were only, for the namesake, using the constitution, for the namesake, using the name of Baba Sahib, the leaders of the Congress party or the BJP or the communist. Only they were using the name of the constitution, using the name of Baba Sahib, but never incorporated the articles of the constitution in the curricula, right from the standard first to even the post graduation. Had that been done by the Congress, probably people would have known the name, not only name of Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar, but what is there in the constitution written for them. And then they would have strived to get those rights by casting their votes in such a manner that ultimately the government which comes in power by their votes ought to have implemented the constitution. But the fact is, people do not know. And therefore, it is very essential for all of us to awaken the society at large. Not only BAMSEF, but every follower of Baba Sahib Ambedkar, every follower of Constitution, they must go to the people and awaken them what is there in the Constitution for them.
Absolutely.
If that is done, I think the rights, and especially rights are, of course, as I've said, from Article 12 to 35, those are fundamental rights. And even in the directive principles, because it is for making the policy, because laws and policies, they go hand in hand.
Hand in hand.
Because policies have to be framed, and through those policies, the principles of equality, fraternity, and justice are incorporated there. Article 38 speaks about it, that the policies should be framed in such a manner that ultimately the equality in the socio-economic equality is established. So fundamental rights and directive principles go hand in hand. Fundamental rights, you can challenge them in the court. Directive principles you cannot challenge, but every 5 years people can challenge them. Those who have not implemented the constitution with its letter and spirit, every 5 years people can challenge the rulers that hell with you. We have given power, the power which is there on the fingertips of our forefinger, which you have not used it for our welfare, and therefore hell with you, you go out of the power. They have been going out of the power, and again same people are coming. It is again because of the ignorance.
Ignorance of the people.
Ignorance of the people, they are not aware, and unless they are made aware, unless they are awakened, I think this will not reach to the people. So, and it will only reach if the power comes in the hands of those who are honest to the constitution. And who are honest to the constitution? To be precise, those who have been denied the rights.
Denied the rights.
They are the people who are honest to the constitution, and they are supposed to come to the power. Unless they come in power, this will not, these fruits of the constitution, especially the freedom of speech and expression, will not reach to them. That is what I wanted to say.
Absolutely, absolutely, sir. We understood now the gist of the situation of today. That unless there is an awareness of the rights of the people within themselves, and second, if they don't use that awareness to put in hold the ruler of this country, those who can implement this constitution, otherwise they won't be able to get that freedom and get the fruits of the constitution realized by themselves. So very much understood and very much underlined by your thoughts today. I think this is all. I mean, this is very much conveyed to our audience today, that unless the marginalized of this country take the things in their hand and put forth the rulers which abhor the constitutional ethics and constitutional importance, then only they can get the fruits of this constitution realized by themselves. So thank you so much, sir, for coming today and putting up your thoughts on how the freedom can be guaranteed by the constitution. And we all realize that this is what we need to do, that to use their fundamental right of pressing the button and electing the right people on to rule the country. So thank you so much for today's talk, and thank you so much, Borkar sir, for coming up and talking about this subject today. And to our viewers, please share this with your circles, in your family and friends, and we will come back again next week, again Sunday evening 8:30 p.m. on a prime time session on English. Thank you so much, and Jai Bhim, Jai Mulnivasi to all the viewers.
Thank you.